Hey folks, I'm Dan Davidson.
And I'm Bill Smith, and it's time for the news from TrekNews.net. Spanning the Alpha Quadrant. For all the news on all the Star Trek show. It's TrekNews.net. Online at TrekNews.net.
That was terrible.
That was actually pretty fantastic.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you.
I was pretty stunned. Talk about a little Christmas gift for the world, Dan. Well, welcome to the news from TrekNews.net, the oldest brand new Star Trek news podcast from Trek Geeks for the week of December 24th, 2020, Christmas Eve. First up, buddy, as the holidays are now clearly right upon us, there are always new Star Trek items being made available for fans, and this latest one is, in a word, stunning.
Like a phaser, right?
I'd like to phaser you.
Yeah, I know you would. It's stunning indeed, Bill. You know, there have been a few new hardcover coffee table books released recently dedicated to Star Trek. Earlier this year, gorgeous Inside the Art and Visual Effects of Star Trek the Motion Picture book was released. And just recently, Star Trek The Artistry of Dan Curry hit bookshelves everywhere. But now there's yet another book highlighting the art of Star Trek, and this one looks just as amazing. It's called The Art of Star Trek Discovery by Paula M. Block and Terry Erdman. This epic coffee table book covers the first two seasons of DSC and covers everything from the opening credits to the changed look of the Klingons to special effects and aliens and costumes and planets, and the list just goes on. And the thing that stands out regarding this newest book, Bill, is that it isn't just a book filled with gorgeous imagery. It has insight into the thoughts behind that imagery, which is very cool. And I got to say, it looks like it is the perfect gift for any Discovery fan. The Art of Discovery is 208 pages of beauty, and you can find it at Amazon.com for a mere $39.95.
That is actually pretty cheap for what I'd expect for a really nice coffee table book.
208 pages.
Yeah, I have the Star Trek the Motion Picture one, and it is gorgeous. I love coffee table books, even though they don't reside on my coffee table. I've had a couple others in the past, and I love it. I don't know why, but it's my format. It's something I really cherish, are coffee table books, and I absolutely will be getting this one.
I have a coffee table book from a friend of ours here on the podcast network about the Star Trek animated series, which is quite lovely, and that's the only coffee table book on my coffee table.
Yeah, I have that one too. It's actually on my shelf, and
nice.
That's another book I love. I had to get that one, but the Art of Star Trek Discovery, I'm here for it because nice. I'm glad they're taking the time to document this stuff now, right, and not 25 years from now.
Trying to dig through and find information. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, that is fantastic. Well, Dan, moving on in news, although there are no announcements on any new Star Trek movies in the near future that we're aware of, one member of the cast believes that the Kelvin stories deserve to be told, even if he isn't cast to be in them. Yeah,
that's very interesting. And it's ironic because it's from the one person who, in my opinion, rightfully walked away from the table when Paramount was trying to renegotiate contracts. So Chris Pine, who of course played Captain James T. Kirk in all of the Kelvin Timeline movies, all three of them, recently said that, quote, "The Star Trek's Kelvin Timeline deserves to have a future," end quote. Now, he said he hasn't seen any script. He said literally he has no idea where things stand in Star Trek land. But again, quoting, "I love the character, I love the universe, I love my friends in it," end quote. He also said that he loves the idea, Bill, of a Quentin Tarantino Star Trek movie, saying, quote, "To have Quentin take on, it would be tremendously interesting and entertaining. Look, whatever happens, if I come back or not, it's a great universe. It deserves to have a future, and I hope that's the case," end quote. So he's not hinting that he might not be in another one, but he's not hinting either.
No, and I think he's saying the right thing. I mean,
exactly.
He thinks there should be more Star Trek at the end of the day, and I think we all think that. Mm-hmm. And I'm just glad that he's a fan. Honestly, so many people think that he's walked away from the table because he wanted more money, and I'm really kind of upset that not enough people understand what really happened with that negotiation and how Paramount has tried to lowball him since.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, he wants what he was promised. He wants what he signed the contract for. I can't fault the guy for that. And I hope we get to see him back as Captain Kirk. I really do.
Yeah, and I'm glad to hear that he loves the Kelvin timeline. You and I are fans of the Kelvin universe. There are millions of Star Trek fans who are. There are some that aren't, but I've always loved them. I like the differences that these type of movies bring. He's a big name now. Of course, he's in the new Wonder Woman that's coming out this Friday on Christmas Day. He's rumored to be in a new Dungeons and Dragons movie under development. So he is sought after. I, for one, hope to see him again wearing the gold because I think it would be pretty cool.
I think so too. Even if they move him to something maroon, I think I'll be fine with that too.
Oh, that's true too. Maroon, yeah, monsters.
Because we do have the 1701A.
That's right.
At the end of Star Trek Beyond.
Very nice.
Which I actually just had on in the background while I was working today.
Oh, there you go.
Go figure.
Nicely done.
Yeah. And finally, Dan, we mentioned this at the beginning of last week's Trek Geeks as a special tribute, but there was indeed another sad day for Star Trek fans. As we learned recently, we've lost another wonderful contributor to the Star Trek universe.
Yeah, God, I can honestly say, man, 2020 can just get the hell out of here. It's just been awful. Another painful loss for Star Trek fans across the globe as author Dave Galanter passed away on Saturday, December 12th, 2020, at the age of 51 after a battle with cancer. He announced to the world back in November, on November 1st, actually, that he was battling late-stage cholangiocarcinoma, which is cancer of the bile ducts. Very sad to see that this has happened. It's November 1st and then December 12th. It was not long. He was loved by fans everywhere for his humor and unbelievable Star Trek knowledge, and he was known for novels such as Dead Endless from Discovery, Battle Lines from Voyager, and Crisis of Conscience from TOS. Everyone here at the Trek Geeks Podcast Network sends our condolences to his wife Samantha and his entire family. He will truly be missed. He will.
Dave was just a guy who wore his fandom on his sleeve. He was such a great Star Trek fan and a great guy. It doesn't make it any easier to know it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And like you said, we will absolutely miss him and his wit and his writing for the days to come. And well, I guess it's time to reread a Dave Galanter novel at some point pretty soon.
That's a great idea, man.
Yeah. So that really does it for the news from TrekNews.net for the week of December 24th, 2020. We want to take a moment to wish you and your families the happiest of holidays and all the best in the new year. The news will be back in 2021. Oh, yes, it will, sir. And Dan and I will be here to cover it all. Remember, for all the news on all the Star Trek CO, please visit our great friends at TrekNews.net. Have a great week, everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, live long and prosper.
Merry Coconut. Coconut.